I am immediately suspending entry for people from countries considered high risk. If the country is on the list, no entry, period.
Hi guys, welcome to the Dixon's View. On today's trending news, we have the President of the United States of America has expanded his ban on foreign countries and immigrants from coming into the United States of America. And those countries include Syria, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria. Let's take a watch of this video.
Listen, America, from now on, everything changes in immigration. I am immediately suspending entry for people from countries considered high risk. If the country is on the list, no entry, period. After the incident in Washington, I made it clear. No mistakes, no loopholes, no second chances. Before Christmas, all asylum applicants.
Moving on, U.S. President Donald Trump has expanded the travel restrictions to an additional 20 countries, taking the total number of the affected countries to 40 now. Donald Trump has fully banned people from 7 more countries, including Syria, as well as the Palestinian Authority passport holders, from entering United States. The move is part of the ongoing efforts by his administration to tighten U.S. entry standard for travel and immigration, in what critics say unfairly prevents travel for people from a broad range of countries. The White House in a proclamation said that it was banning foreigners who intend to threaten Americans. It also said that the president wants to prevent foreigners in the U.S. who would undermine or destabilize its culture, government institutions, or its founding principles. People who already have visas or have certain visa categories, such as diplomats or athletes, or whose entry into the country is believed to serve the U.S. interests, are all exempted from the restriction. The changes go into effect on the 1st of January. Besides people from Syria and those holding the Palestinian Authority passport, citizens subjected to the full travel ban come from some of Africa's poorest countries: Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, and South Sudan, as well as Laos in Southeast Asia.
So far, the president has declared the ban and extended it to other countries it didn't include initially. And such countries include Nigeria. Nigeria, of recent, the same president of America had made a statement and declared Nigeria a country of a particular concern, and since then, nothing has really been done, of which by so, the government of the United States of America has seen Nigeria and her citizens as a potential threat, despite the genocide, the declaration of genocide against Christians in the country. These are things that are really calling for concern when governments refuse to take or failed issues of national importance seriously. Now, let's not even go and let's not even consider countries like Burkina Faso into this. The military junta in Burkina Faso is not having a good diplomatic relations with the Nigerian government as it stands now. But my concern is, how will this in any way improve the security concern of Nigerians if our people are being banned, restricted from accessing the United States of America? What is the way forward? How does this in any way improve the security of the country? In terms of Syria, it's understandable that the government in Syria is headed by what I can say is a ex-Al-Qaeda militants. Is more understandable, even though there are other issues surrounding that of Nigeria. So what is the way forward? How do we get this mess cleared? And you don't forget, in recent times, some time ago, the government had, the president of the United States of America had also referred to Nigeria as a shithole country, just as it referred to Somalia as a garbage. In all this, I blame the African leaders, the leaders of our countries in Africa for this. Because if they have been taking the necessary action, the right measures to contain insecurity, we wouldn't be portrayed as a potential threat or dangers to the United States of America. And it's cause for concern.
A series of new actions. Donald Trump also imposed partial travel restrictions on citizens of other African countries, including the most populous Nigeria, as well as Ivory Coast and Senegal, which qualified for the World Cup set to be placed next year in America, as well as Canada and Mexico. The Trump administration has promised to let in athletes for football's signature competition, but they've made no such promises for fans of the blacklisted countries. Other countries slapped with partial restrictions were from Africa or largely black nations in the Caribbean, including Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Dominica and Gabon.
Ridiculous, you know? If the president of the United States of America is saying people from Nigeria and other African countries has potential dangers, then why is her interest not terminated in Nigeria? Why is extraction of natural resources and other mineral resources from Nigeria not terminated or banned as well? I think this calls for concern, and the major concern, the leaders of these countries, most especially the African leaders, who might feel they have been doing enough to see how to, give us a good image globally before the world. They have to sit up, and I blame them seriously for their failure to tackle insecurity and fight insurgency in Nigeria. Because over the time, the government of the United States of America had been complaining over the crimes and nefarious things happening in Nigeria in particular. Recently, the president had also said that declared Nigeria a country of particular interest, and also warned and cautioned the government that failure to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria will call for gun blazing in Nigeria. And this also calls for concern that even up till now, the authorities in Nigeria have not really done anything, are not taking anything serious enough that could have prevented the country from being enlisted among the country's citizens, people that are banned from going into the United States of America.
For more details, our correspondent Kalden Onmu has sent us this report from Johannesburg. Take a look.
US President Donald Trump has always been very vocal about how he feels about people from certain countries, especially Africa, and describes it as shithole countries. He recently said that US was only taking people from shithole countries and instead should seek immigrants from countries like Norway and Sweden. He also recently described Somalis as garbage. Most countries Trump has banned African countries. He has raised tariffs, slashed humanitarian aid and development aid to Africa. However, US's focus on critical minerals extraction from the continent has remained intact. Previously, the African Union Commission appealed to the US to exercise their right of protecting their borders in a manner that is balanced, evidence-based, and reflective of the long-standing partnership between the United States and Africa. The Commission had said that it remains concerned about the potential negative impact of such measures on people-to-people ties, educational exchange, commercial engagement, and the broader diplomatic relations that have been carefully nurtured over.
So, in all this, it is now clear that the President of the United States of America is not just doing this because it hates this country or the citizens. No, it is rather doing it for the enhancement of its national security, and is doing it to protect her citizens, because it is quite worrisome, because the authorities in Nigeria really has to sit up to see how it could bring insecurity down to its knees. With this so far, as I have dropped my views and my take on these issues, I would be glad to see your comments and your views as well in the comment section.